Happy Independence Day to you from wherever you're watching Channel Sport this morning. I am Ty Salam. It's great to have you join us again. This is what the show looks like. Starting off on a great note for the country, Victor Osimhen. The goal trail still on as the Napoli striker scores the 7th goal of the season in all competitions, and they've all come in his last 5 games. Also on sport this morning, still talking football, Rangers defender Calvin Bassey gets maiden Super Eagles invite for the World Cup qualifier against the Central African Republic later this month. They've got a profile of the newest Eagle for you on the show. Still talking football, but this time around in the English Premier League. As a top of the table clash between Manchester City and Liverpool at Anfield. Just the 1 point separates these two teams. All right, so that's what the show looks like. Still so much more to come during the course of the program. Just try to stick with us for the next 15 minutes or thereabouts. I'm not flying solo because I have Jide Olaniran joins me on this special day for the country. Jide, good morning. Happy Independence Day to you.
Happy anniversary. Happy Independence Day to you too.
Yes, thank you. I mean, quick one before we dive straight into the sporting stories. What's your take? Nigeria at 61, sports developments. We obviously we know where we're supposed to be, but what's the overall take?
I think, like you said, it's good that you're not running solo this morning. We've been running solo for 61 years. So it's great. But I remember some months ago when that was the former statistician of Nigeria was saying something about, we're just talking about how Nigeria can grow or can add to our economy, right, by using sports as to drive some of those. And he quoted that Nigeria's sport was just adding like 0.0005
little to nothing, to nothing
to the GDP. And I felt that, wow, when are we going to, at a point where we have a burgeoning population of unemployed youths, and we needed to do something drastic about the economy. Sports should be one of the ways to tackle youth unrest and what have you. And at 61, I think we should have known that all the while that we should be looking at sports. So hopefully, like I said, we can only just be optimistic about the future. We're looking forward to a brighter future, and hopefully we can get hold of this sports industry and use it to drive our economy.
Sports on. Hopefully that is the case. We need to start seeing results as soon as possible. We don't want to come back here next year, October the 1st, and talk about the same old thing again when it comes to developing the sports industry in Nigeria. Let's get on with the show now and give you updates coming from the Rio 2016 Olympics. Not great news at all if you're a fan of boxing. I want to believe you heard about it already, and if you didn't, we're here to give you all of the updates. A McLaren reporter has revealed that there was a system in place to manipulate the outcome of boxing matches by officials at the Rio 2016 Olympics. That's according to a Richard McLaren report, who's the head of the investigation commissioned by the sports governing body, AIBA. And suspicious bouts included defeats for Great Britain's Joe Joyce, who was also a Nigerian, as well as Ireland's Michael Conlan. This surprise hasn't come as a surprise to a lot of people. Jide, if you watched some of those boxing events in Rio, you scratch your head how they came about some of the results, because you start to question yourself, like, did we actually watch the same bouts? Some of them were so mind-boggling. And now this report is coming out to say there was actually a system in place to fix and manipulate certain boxing matches.
It's been on the searchlight, the boxing global federation has been seriously, I'm not surprised by it, because it's been some of this before this It was actually revealed.
Yeah, the reports.
There has been some inside sources have already been leaking some of this, some of the stance of the team that the team McLaren reports that. Some of the calls at Rio were questionable. That was what necessitated the reform that Haiba was trying to carry out to make sure that it does not repeat itself. At some point, they were even tinkering with the idea of whether they should leave boxing out of the Olympics because the scandal was just too much. It was a mess, and this is the time for us to ask the question globally that going forward, how do we make sure that this kind of thing does not repeat itself?
That's where we're going now.
Because when you look at boxing, at times, even at the local level, I remember some time ago, some years back, that was at the National Sports Festival. That was when the Ogun State actually hosted. There were a lot of questionable calls that the boxers, it became a free-for-all. That boxers were attacking officials, and if it wasn't, the Rio almost got to that point. If it was just because it was a global event. Some couldn't take it. Some of the fighters couldn't take it, and you can imagine some of what happened there back then when boxers were going directly for officials, just to transfer the aggression. But it's good that this is known now. We need to sanitize. It's come to light. We need to sanitize the sport.
Absolutely. Investigation led by McLaren, that's Richard McLaren, revealed that there were 2 bouts that totally caused the collapse of the system, including the bantamweight quarterfinal between Michael Conlan as well as Vladimir Nikitin from Russia. The other bout was a gold medal heavyweight clash between Russia's Evgeny Tischenko and Kazakhstan's Vasily Levy. The findings also call into question the final of the men's super heavyweight division bout between Joe Joyce, the British boxer who was also Nigerian, as well as Francis Tony Yoka, in which Joyce lost and had to settle for a silver medal. One of the boxers affected by this manipulation, allegedly, at the Rio 2020 Olympics, Michael Conlan, has been reacting to this report from Richard McLaren.
I want my medal. That's what I'll feel injustice has been done when they send me that medal in the post. Let's not even go to Switzerland if they want to hand me it there. And also, if they can take away the 10,000, whatever the Swiss francs they have charged me with because of my reaction in the games. If they can take all that away, I'll be happy too. And a wee apology wouldn't go amiss. I thought it was all put to bed and it was finished. There was nothing really going to happen. But here we are 5 years later, and probably coming to a final close, which is great. I'm delighted, and I hope that justice will be served. And it shows that my reactions and my actions during the time were just, and hopefully I'll have a bit of vindication by the end of this. For me, Rio will be kind of the making and breaking of me in terms of, as an amateur, it broke me completely. My goal as a boxer from my start of boxing was to become an Olympic champion, and now I will never ever become an Olympic champion because of what happened.
Irish boxer Michael Conlan reacting to the latest McLaren report that reveals that there was indeed a manipulation of boxing bouts at the Rio 2016 Olympics. He wants his medal, he wants an apology, he wants some money back as well, because that particular bout triggered an outcry from fans and as well as himself, so he was fined.
He threw a lot of tantrum during that game.
Exactly.
And exactly. That's what, like I said, the reaction was, right now, you could see is justified. So now he's been vindicated because for reacting that way. Because I know how it feels when, with what he did to his opponent, which was so glaring, only for that match or the bout to have been awarded to. Wow, boxing is obvious when you know you've done so well. You see, no matter what excuse people make for the way some of these points are scored, but you could see it.
So you wonder at times what about these judges were
watching.
We recall as well too that we had a Nigerian. I just saw representative in the boxing events in Rio was Ife Ajagba. Lost in the quarterfinal as well too. So far, nothing has been said about him. But what we know for sure is that the investigation indicates that there were approximately 11 bouts in total that were suspicious. We don't know for sure now whether Ife Ajagba's bout was in there, but then we'll keep an eye on the situation, and whenever we get any updates, you'll be the first to know on Sport This Morning. Let's leave boxing and its corruption, corrupt practices aside now. Let's go to the world of basketball, the NBA. We're building up to the start of the new season on October the 19th, and it's all about the LA Lakers and the Big Four. In your picture is Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Carmelo, and the king himself, LeBron James, and everyone's looking at this very curious roster put together by the Lakers organization. Are they going to be good enough to win a championship? Are they too old? That's the question most people, or most fans, have been talking about, because Superman Dwight Howard is over 30, LeBron James is over 30. A lot of these guys, as a matter of fact, Jide, the average age of the Lakers coming into this season, DeAndre Jordan right there for you, the average age of the Lakers is 30.9. They're the oldest in the roster, so they've been the butt of jokes from fans. Like, there's no way these guys are going to last 82-game season. How are they going to do it? They're going to run out of gas. Guess what? LeBron James has his reply and his response to that. Afterwards, I'll be getting the thoughts of GD as well.
I'm excited for what's in store for us this year, and but every day is a process. Every day, it's all about the journey and just putting in the work, and then the narrative about our age. I kind of laugh at it. I actually really do laugh, and I'm not just saying that, but some of the memes and some of the jokes have been, extremely funny. And just some of it is just just trying to get people to read tabloids and things of that nature, but. The game is won in between those four lines, and it's not won on the bottom ticker. It's not won in a newspaper. It's not won on sports talk shows and things of that nature. If we come out and we put the time in, we put the work in, we make our own narrative. And one thing that we know where we are, we got a bunch of guys that's been in this league for quite a while that understands and knows what it takes to win.
I saw LeBron James, the king himself, reacting to jibes about the age of the Lakers if they're too old to actually contend for an NBA championship this season. Like I said, they're just over 30 in terms of their average age. Age is just a number, right?
Yeah, I agree, totally.
Or not?
Age, yeah, it's just a number. And they will be coming with a whole lot of experience too. Maybe that is what will separate the boys from the men eventually at the end of the season. But, in between them, they've got some ring in there.
A lot of rings.
So I wouldn't be surprised, and that maybe it also depends on what the manager will be, the strategy of the manager for the season, because I know that it's going to tell on their bodies, especially if they all have to play, all through the season. But I feel that there should be the roster will definitely help in terms of how the number of games that they get on their belt. So definitely for those four guys, it's up to the manager.
Yeah, it's up to Coach Frank Vogel to find a way to ensure that these players are healthy for the regular season as well as the playoff run as well. So age is typically used in a negative context when it comes to sports generally. But then we've seen in the past as well to the experience plays a major role
at this stage.
in championship
Especially if
winning
they make it
sides.
to the playoffs. That is where it was
It
going
is
to
going to
count.
count,
Yeah, experience is
very
going
well.
to count. Yeah.
And so we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. The LA Lakers and the King himself, King James, are not too bothered about all of the jibes they're getting from fans about the age of their roster. Still talking about the Lakers, let's go over to the other guys on the roster. I'm talking about Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis. They have been talking about how they intend to play very well together as a team when the season tips off.
My job is to utilize it the best of my ability to make sure that, AD and Brian, whoever's in the pick and roll, are put in positions to be successful. That's a part of my job. And like AD mentioned, we've had many conversations today and passive open shots and looks in different ways where we can make the game easy for each other. And that's, strictly what we're trying to do. And with that comes sacrifice and figuring out the best solution for the team.
We just in his first practice, we passed up a lot of shots, to find the next guy, and there might be over sacrificing, but we try to make the right plays. But I don't think anyone on this team has an ego. No one on this team is trying to be selfish, and it looks good on the floor for the first day. Guys are doing the right things, making the right plays, and most importantly, guys are coming to work. This is a great first couple hours of practice, and I think sacrifice is going to be huge for us, and we talked about it yesterday. We talked about this morning, and it's shown in the first practice.
Anthony Davis, AD, as well as Russell Westbrook, the latest or the newest LA Laker in town, speaking ahead of the tip-off of the season and how they intend to win another championship for the LA Lakers. That's it for basketball for now. Let's get on with the show and come back home and talk about the National Sport Federation elections that went down yesterday in Abuja. We have some winners for you. We're going to run through some of the sports that have new presidents-elect, and afterwards, Austin Okunapa will be joining me for a review of everything that went down in Abuja. Let's take a look at some of the elected presidents, starting with volleyball, where it's Musa Nimrod that's got that ticket to lead the sport for the next 4 years. In weightlifting, it's Ibrahim Abdul, while in karate, it's Silas Agara. Golf has Shegun Rushewe, while wrestling, surprise, surprise, is Daniel Igali coming back for second term. In handball, it's Sam Ochewu, no surprises there as well, while in rugby, it's Ademola Are. Cycling, we've got Masari, John Dominic Siko. Masari is the president-elect for the Cycling Federation of Nigeria, while in table tennis, it's Ishak Otikan coming back for another term. Tennis has Dayo Akindoju, while in judo, it's Musa Oshodi. Kickboxing, Wilson Okon. Boxing, Kenneth Minima, while in squash is Boye Oyeride. Gymnastics, Kelvin Eyizige, while in taekwondo it's Abdullahi Seidu, and cricket, Uyi Akpata. So those are your new presidents for the next couple of years. But we need to go on a break now. When we come back, we'll be listening to some of these presidents talking about their plans for the different sports for the next 4 years. Join us again.
In the last 4 years, we did witness giant strides in cricket. And we think it was unanimous there that we need now to even explore the potentials further. So I see us, based on our strategic imperatives, even growing more than fourfold in all aspects that we set for ourselves. For us to achieve those 5 significant objectives: first, growing the numbers at the grassroots; second, in terms of increasing our rankings, we've gone up rankings; third, in terms of producing facilities; fourth, in terms of overall partnership; and lastly, and more importantly, we count on that good governance structure, good governance and infrastructure. That will be attract sponsors. So it's exciting times for people like us. More people like us. The board, they have unique, young, and talented people. I've had the new 6 members are coming through. I've had the opportunity to engage them in the last 24 hours or so, and I'm really excited and humbled that I'm going to be leading this fantastic individual.
To go back and do those things that we are not able to do in the first tenure, and also to work harder on the ones we have already achieved. We achieved much in the first tenure, and we're going to do more, concentrating on youth development, grassroots development, equipment, sponsorship, to take table tennis to the next high.
I am a Taekwondo practitioner myself. I'm not just a politician. I've been into Taekwondo for almost 32 years. I've been an athlete, I have been a coach, and I've also been an administrator. Everybody knows me as a grassroots person. I have embarked on a lot of grassroots development Taekwondo in Nigeria. I have single-handedly built the ever first high-performance Taekwondo training center in Nigeria, located in Birnin Kebbi. It's there. And it's not just about building structures. It's also about enhancing the capacity of these athletes by giving them a lot of exposures. So what we are going to do, we are going to take that Taekwondo down to the grassroots, down to the schools. You understand? You know, it's a popular game, so we are going to take it down to the school, because I learned Taekwondo when I was in secondary school. That was when I started Taekwondo in Lagos back then.
That's Abdullahi Saidu, that's the new president-elect of the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation. He also got to listen as well to Ishaku Nikon, who was the president of the Nigeria Table Tennis Federation, and before him was cricket president-elect Uyi Akpata. Austin Okonakman is ready to join us now from London. Austin, good morning and happy Independence Day to you.
Happy Independence Day to you also, Taya, and of course Nigerians. It's good to be on the show.
Indeed, and what a day to be on the show as well to Nigeria 61, and we're talking about the new president that's supposed to lead all of these sports onto the next level. Quick one, let's get your take on everything that went down in Abuja yesterday. Let's start with the returning president, Samuel Echehu. There's a table tennis as well too, who's making a comeback. Daniel Igali as well too, and some others.
I'm not surprised with the guys who are returning, particularly for Daniel Igali, Ishaku Tikon, and to an extent Samuel Ocheho. But Samuel Ocheho really had a fight. He was pushed all the way. He won that election by just a vote. And then it shows you that handball, they mean business, you know. So we're just hoping that he's going to come back, consolidate on some of those strides that we saw in the last 4 years as regards the development of handball in Nigeria. Shout out to Ocheho, brought back the championships, brought back the league. You know, we started seeing women going for handball competitions. So handball was pretty, busy under Samuel Ocheho. We just hope that they will, get better. For Daniel Igali, look, I keep saying it. Everything rises and falls on leadership. That's right. A tested leader who's been there, done that. Olympic gold medalist. I've watched him spar with the wrestlers a number of times. You sit with him and these wrestlers, you think that he's also a teammate. That's a leader. That's someone who knows what it takes to develop the sports. When he complains about funding, it's because funding is a major canker, but somehow wrestling finds a way to get out there and win. And that's why no surprises that Daniel Igali is returning unopposed, by the way, unopposed as president of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation. Another guy who is returning is the Nigeria Tennis Federation president, Dayo Akindoju. Dayo Akindoju, also a grassroots guy, loves tennis, spoken to him a number of times, and he's also someone who wants to see tennis develop, get young stars into the mix also. Maybe what we're fighting with in Nigeria is because of its popularity, but tennis to an extent is popular, and if you look at the way the likes of Barakat Quadri has grown and what they are doing, it's a testament that they started from right there at the grassroots. So he needs to find a way to consolidate this time around, put tennis into the minds of Nigeria, find ways to bring corporate bodies into it so sponsorship won't be a problem. And I like the fact, Tayo, that that's what most of them are talking about. Table tennis
Yep.
also a sharp critique on. It's another opportunity for us to see table tennis again win. And he mentioned sponsorship. Seidu Abdullahi, Taekwondo, also mentioned sponsorship. It means they need to find time to work. They need to find time to package, rebrand the sport, make it look attractive, gain some followership. There are some sports that shouldn't struggle to win in Nigeria. Table tennis is one of them. It's got great credibility. It's got great appeal. Taekwondo is one of them. Even when parents don't want their children to fight professionally, everybody wants to take their kids, to one Taekwondo club. Growing up back in the day, we used to, come out as kids and learn one or two martial arts skills. So these are new times for these guys. And today is Independence Day. They need to sit down and reflect. It's a national assignment. If you don't want development, if you don't have time for this is the time to say to yourself, maybe I should just back up.
It's a bit too late now because they have been elected. Let's exactly. So let's hope they are really interested in growing this this sports and the marketing it as well. So which is so important because funding has been a problem since time immemorial.
It's a product. I agree totally on the sponsorship issue with Austin. The sport is it's a product. I think one of the things that some of those presidents should be looking at is how do we develop it to make sure it's attractive by making it a product that people want to identify with, identify or associate with.
Okay.
So that is one thing we will be looking at. That I want to believe the presidents will be looking at. We've heard from them, and for a president like Daniel Igali right now, I know he has the listening ears of some politically exposed people. Of course, himself being a politician, is the commissioner, is a former athlete, and there is an observation for me. I think that wrestling right now should ride on the performance of the likes of Blessing Odudu, get some endorsement for her and all that, push her in the media, let her go, maybe start working with kids and all that thing, inspiring them and get more visibility. And that will help. And like some other presidents that I'm seeing, some are even former should I say some are ex-staff of retired staff of the Nigerian Ministry of Youth and Sport, like the rugby president Ademola used to be a director in the Ministry of Youth and Sport. So I feel that his experience should come in handy. He has said that he was also going to make rugby attractive. Enough of the drama. We've had so much drama in the
the players are fed up. I get calls every day about. A lot of those players are not even the ones that even based abroad as well. So they're just tired of the old drama. They just want to play, and they're not being afforded that opportunity. Let's hope that Ademola
will put that to rest, and we can focus on the sports, not
all the drama off it. Austin, before we leave the National Sports Federation elections, let's talk about sports you are very passionate about, and that's cricket. They've got a new president as well, so in Uyi Akpata. What are you expecting from him in the next 4 years?
All-round development. Uyi Akpata is a grounded cricket practitioner. He plays cricket himself. Is astute when it comes to packaging the sports and looking for sponsorship, and I'm super glad he mentioned it there. What he said was good governance structure to attract sponsorship. I don't have any doubt about Uyi Akpata. In the last administration, he was the vice president, so he worked with Professor Adams Okonya. So he understands where they were, and it's for him to now say where he wants to take cricket to, and I have no doubt. I've been covering Uyi Akpata and cricket for over a decade, so seeing him emerge as president now, I'm sure when I speak to him, he will tell me, Austin, all I wanted to do. He mentioned the grassroots also. He said, take it to the schools. Very, very important. So I believe cricket will thrive under Uyi Akpata, and most importantly, we'll be able to carry the board members along. Tayo, Jide, that's where we have a problem. Most times you see federations and it's just the president that is working because the other guys don't want to work. There's no unity of purpose. So congratulations to Ademola Are going to the Rugby Football Federation. First thing first, Ademola Are, you need to create a united rugby federation because we know what rugby has been in Nigeria in the last 8 years. So first, before you even start thinking about the sport and development, you need to make sure as a leader that everyone follows you. Same thing with Taekwondo. It goes beyond Abdullah Isaidu saying, "Oh, let me come in. I'm a former athlete. I'm a politician." All of those are okay, but you need to get persons to move along so that everybody will understand the mission and then find a way to execute it. Otherwise, we'll continue to struggle. When I heard about what happened with badminton, I started wondering because we thought Frank Obi had done a good job with badminton in the last 4 years. But there's definitely some leadership deficiencies that have taken badminton to where it is now. Same with basketball. Even before the election, kickboxing. But I'm glad Wilson Okon, as emerged president, they need to come together. That's what I'm saying. Today is Independence Day. Jide Tayo is not too late. Let them reflect. If you know that this is an assignment that I just wanted to take because I wanted one big appointment. After today, call the vice president and say become president because it's a whole lot of work. If you're a politician and you don't have the time, very important. The time. Don't think about travel. Don't think about international grants. Think about development. Think about the athletes. That's what Igali has done. He has dedicated his time. Samuel Ochoa has dedicated his time. Musa Nimrod has dedicated time. That's all you need is time that you put into the work that is going to produce results.
And Austin, all these new leaders have to be selfless if they are to make their different sports thrive indeed in the next 4 years. Let's leave the federation elections for now. Of course, there's still so many more to come. You talked about the basketball, there's the track and field that is yet to go down as well. So as soon as we get all of that, we'll be letting you know on Sport This Morning. Let's still talk about sports development and give you updates coming from Nigeria's first individual gold medalist, Choma Ajunwa. Of course, I know a lot of people remember that crazy night in Atlanta. Anyways, the Nigerian Olympian, Choma Ajunwa, has announced the launching of a 6 billion Naira Sports Development Center. This comes 25 years after she became Nigeria's first gold medalist at the Atlanta Olympics. Was in 1996. Ajunwa Okpara says the Sports Development Center will be seated in Owerri, Imo State. She also adds that the development center will provide a credible platform for young athletes to deploy their talents and become international stars in future. She noted that only youths from under the ages of 18 and 17 will be admitted into the facility across 8 sports. Former Nigeria President Olusegun Obasanjo is expected to grace the launch. Let's take a listen to Choma Ajunwa's plan for sports development in Nigeria.
This is not a joke. We are talking about a multi-billion naira business, and we cannot just be opening hand and closing without doing something extraordinary. So, and I am somebody that I believe in setting a pace, and I know that by the time I went to Atlanta, nobody believed that anything good could come from me. And setting this pace now, I know that the people will come and join us and make sure that since it's for the youth, it's not for me, it's all about our youth, it's all about Nigeria having a quality and a standard facility. It's not personal, it's not my personal business, it's not my personal place, it's for our youth.
It's a sports development center. We're going to have about 8 different sports team facilities in this venue, namely the track and field, of course, the football pitch, the hall for basketball, volleyball, table tennis, and we're going to have a swimming pool. Definitely we're going to have a gym for boxing. We have gone around to do what we call talent hunts. We did that in Lagos, in the East, in the Edo State, and after this program, we're going to the northern part of Nigeria, to get athletes between the ages of 13 and 17, because we actually want to get them when they are still very raw. And we're going to get experts that are going to come from outside Nigeria to be their trainers. We're going to have physiotherapists that will be there all the time, chiropractor that's going to be there all the time, and we're going to have people in the gym to assist them physically.
As a former athlete right there, Henry and Mike, talking about the plans for the development of sports in Nigeria. Of course, this is being led by Nigeria's first gold medalist, Chioma Ajunwa. This is fantastic, very laudable gesture from her.
When you look at the time, it's never too late anyway, but when you look at the time she won gold in '96 and now I understand, of course, she's been busy doing work in the police, and right now I appreciate the fact that she is focusing on those projects. These are the kind of iconic figure that we need to, put together things like this, a sports development center, and she's also locating it in Owerri. That's where she's from. Home states, good. It's massive. It's going to require lots of funding, but with our clout rather, I believe she can get the buy-ins of stakeholders, people who believe and who think that she should be immortalized with this kind of because after she's gone, this is going to remain. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
This will serve as a way of
Austin, quickly over to you. Fantastic gesture from Chioma Ajunwa.
That's what I'm talking about, Tayo. That's what I want to hear from the newly elected and returning presidents of the different sporting federations after the elections. And you heard that say passionately that this is not a joke. That's what I'm talking about. She's been there, done that. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She knows what she suffered before she went to Atlanta to record that. And every time I speak to Chioma Ajunwa, that's what she's saying, that she doesn't want these current athletes to go through the same thing. So, and she's got Henry Amike and some other ex-internationals working with her to make sure that this happens. They're going to have centers. They mentioned boxing, another sport that has been struggling in Nigeria. A sport that, let me tell you, Tayo, before independence, Nigeria had produced world champions in boxing. Dike Etu Tiger and Organ Kid Bassi. 61 years of independence, boxing is struggling. We went to the Olympics, no boxer. At Rio 2016, just one boxer, Ife Ajagba. So the president, Kenneth Minima, should find a way to even work with Chioma Ajunwa on this and say, okay, we'll put a boxing ring in that center so that persons will come out. When was the last time we had a national championship? So I was listening to Chioma Ajunwa and it all came pouring again. That is still the same old problems. And that's why she's saying, this is not a joke. Sports is an industry. Sports is business. I went to the Anthony Joshua and the last fight. What is them between now? The last fight at the Tottenham Stadium. Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Tayo, White Hart Lane was transformed. It was business. From the hospitality to the boxing experience, everything. You can tell that they set out to make money. And it was boxing, not football. So it's time to reflect. It's Independence Day. We should start doing things differently to get the results that will take sports in Nigeria to the next level.
You're spot on once again. Hopefully these new leaders will be ready to work and take the sport to the very next level. Nigeria shouldn't be taking baby steps at this stage of at 61. Let's put it that way. Anyways, we need to go on a break now. When we come back, it's going to be all about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We now have the squad that will be prosecuting the double header against the Central African Republic. When we come back, we'll be revealing the squad to you. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. You can be a part of the show by tweeting to us at channels_sport. Let us know your opinion, or you might want to set an agenda for the new presidents for the different sports federations. We'll try as much as possible to take all of them before it's all done as well. So you might also want to talk to us about the Super Eagles list that's been released for the World Cup qualifiers against the Central African Republic later this month. Tweeted us at channels_sports. Yes, we're back on Twitter. Fantastic indeed. All right, let's get on with the show, and let's give you the list of the Super Eagles players that have been invited for the World Cup qualifiers against the Central African Republic. The usual suspects are there, of course, with the exception of Wilfred Ndidi and Ogenekare Tebo, who are both injured. But for the goalkeepers, it's the same players that we all have come to know over the last few years. Daniel Akpe, Francis Uzor, and Maduka Okoye. The defenders, we all know them as well. Chidozie Wazim, Kenneth Omeru, Leon Balogun, William Ekong, Ololu Aina, Jamilu Collins, Abdullahi Shehu, Calvin Bassey, that's the new Eagle. We're going to profile that young man later on the show. There's also Kevin Akpoguma returning from illness. The midfielders are Frank Oyeka, Joseph Aredele Aribo, Innocent Bonke, Alex Iwobi, and Kelechi Iheanacho, while the forwards is headlined by the captain, Ahmed Musa, the Samuel Kalu from Bordeaux, Victor Osimhen, the hottest striker in the world right now, Moses Simon, Paul Onuachu, and Chidera Ejike. Like I said, these are all usual suspects that we've come to know over the last few years, but there's a new Eagle in town. His name is Calvin Bassey. Interestingly, he was in action for Rangers yesterday in the Europa League match against Spartak. Against Spartak Prague, I believe, Calvin Bassey is his name, plays for Glasgow Rangers. I was born in Acosta, Italy, citizenship, both Nigeria and England. Obviously, is 1.8 meters tall, is a left back that can also play centre back as well. And this season is featured in 8 games for Rangers and has played a total of 720 minutes. Jide, your thoughts on the invitation for Calvin Bassey?
It's great. We keep getting them.
Yeah.
We keep getting some of them, and I would have. I've been different, sort of, but the fact that he's played all the minutes this season says a lot about his quality right now. He's in form, and it's good to have him integrated into the team. Now we know that we'll be missing 2 key guys. 2 key players. Who is a defensive midfielder, as well as a table who is versatile. He could play anywhere. You know. But now to have Bassey join Calvin Bassey join the team, it will be good, because the more the merrier. We keep, makes it more competitive now, especially in the back line, knowing that he could play from, I've seen him play from the right, the left back, as well as he could slot into the centre back too. So, good one. But I'm of the belief that the Oyibo wall, as they call it, the likes of the 2 guys, William Ekong and should have some competition.
Of course.
Apart from Omeru, Awaziem, I think we should also have the likes of Calvin also give it a run.
You're spot on, Austin. A quick one on the invitation of Calvin Bassey. He was in action, like I said yesterday. He played alongside Leon Balogun in the centre defense for Rangers. Unfortunately, they lost that game by a lone goal.
Yeah, and there was also Joe Aribo in that team too, so it was a sad loss for them as well. But it's a good one that we have 3 Nigerians playing in the same team. That will count for something when you talk about blending. But coming back to the Super Eagles, yes, he's versatile. He can drop down to midfield, but there's been a lot of criticism about this team that the midfield role is lacking. It's not in depth and all of that. But then I know the technical crew will be saying this is Central African Republic. I mean, if we put together players from the home-based team, they should be able to beat Central African Republic. But Tayo, I said that's not the problem for me. The problem for me is they need to start having the understanding that they need to get to the next stage, which is the crucial stage. So everybody must come together. So we must pray that they don't have injuries or setbacks that will not let us have the full complement of the team, because you're as good as your last game, and when teams want to, monitor you, they will go back and watch your last game. So I just hope that this names, good enough names, good players everywhere. Osimhen is in good form. Kelechi Iheanacho is in good form. Jamilu Collins is in good form. William Trustekong is playing regularly. Kenneth Omeru, same thing. Leon Balogun. So you look at the team, the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Africa at the moment, they are a top side. It's just about getting the results, particularly for that crucial stage, Tayo.
Sports on Austin. Respectfully, it's just the Central African Republic, and this team should be good enough to get perhaps maximum points over the 2 legs and seal qualification for the final round of qualifiers for the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, which is going to go down in the winter, the very first Winter World Cup. We're hoping that Nigeria is going to be a part of that one. Let's leave the Eagles list now and talk about a player who's going to be expected to lead the Eagles' attack against the Central African Republic. Victor Osimhen once again scored for Napoli his 7th goal in his past 5 games. This time around, he ended up on the losing side though. Quite a shame. Came off the bench because Spalletti thought Napoli will have enough to defeat their opponents without Victor Osimhen. But at the end of the day, he needed to bring Osimhen on. Osimhen came on, scored what turned out to be consolation in a 3-2 loss for Napoli.
On his behalf, let me dedicate that goal to the 61st independence anniversary of Nigeria.
Even though it was a loss.
Even though, but he scored. That's good. He keeps scoring. He can't stop scoring. He keeps scoring, and that's what we want to see, because that actually gives him a stake to claim in the Super Eagles, as well as maybe reinforcing the fact that Napoli didn't make mistake by going all the way to get his the sign on. And so that is good. 7 goals in 7 games for him. So that is what a striker is, the stuff he is made of.
Indeed.
So we hope he continues, especially when he comes back, because I know after this weekend's game, they're all reporting now for national duty, and his record for Nigeria is not bad. He has got about 6 goals in 10 games as well, so he's definitely doing the business for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Austin, I noticed you want to say, chip in a few things, a couple of things about Victor Osimhen before we take a look at the matches that will be played in the Premier League this weekend.
Awesome form Victor Osimhen is enjoying. Tayo, that's the sort of form you want to bring back to the national team, and unfortunately Napoli lost that game last night, but I love the fact that he kept pushing. I think the red card was their undoing. He kept pushing till the final minutes of the game. He got that goal, so well done to Victor Osimhen. He scored, his team lost last night. Tayo, wasn't pretty good day for Super Eagles players. Paul Onuachu and Gen closed. Rangers and the Nigerian teammates, they lost. Leicester City lost to the Europa, but it's all good. I love the fact that they are playing regularly now.
Indeed, Austin, I want to thank you for joining us on Sport this morning. Happy Independence Day once again to you. Hopefully, the Federation presidents have listened very well to everything you've had to say on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tayo. Happy Independence Day to you also, and of course to Nigerians.
All right, so that's it. Let's take a look at the Premier League games that will be played this weekend before we close the show. The big matchup is between Liverpool and Manchester City. Of course, there are other games as well, too, like United taking on Everton, Burnley, Norwich, Chelsea, Southampton, Leeds United versus Watford. Then there's Wolves and Newcastle, Brighton and Arsenal. But on Sunday, the Super Sunday, as I like to call it, Liverpool versus Man City. That's a headline fixture. I'll just put you on the spot for this one quickly. Liverpool on the back of a 3-3 draw against Brentford, while City are coming off the back of defeating Chelsea.
The big Chelsea, the
Chelsea.
team in form, the team that everybody wants to beat, but they've been able to, of course, show the rest of the teams in the Premiership that Chelsea squad is beatable. But like you said, Liverpool should have learned their lessons right now. That you don't defend the way they defended against Brentford against the Man City side. You shouldn't do that, and they need to be coherent in their defense line. Make sure, because it's going to be But one thing you can take away from this particular game is that there will be goals in it. There will be goals, of course, and good football to the delight of the fans too. So the last time, I think the last time they met, that was the Premiership also. Man City had the fantastic result, but this time, this is the first of the 2 installments that they will be having in the Premiership. So Liverpool at Anfield, we don't want to go to Anfield this early, but let's see how it could go. Spans out. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like you want to stay on the fence on that one, so I'll just leave you right there. All right, so thank you very much. We've got our Sports in Life, Complete Sports, and Sports in Sons are the papers we have with us on the show, but unfortunately, we cannot take them today. Anyways, thank you once again for coming on the show. Appreciate your time. Happy Independence to you. Much, yeah. And thank you all for watching as well. So happy Independence Day to you as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend. I am Taya Salah.